This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome, everyone. As I said, my name is Melinda Bourgeois. I'm with Travel Central here in New Orleans, Louisiana, or Metairie, for those who are local to us. Today, we have a great presentation. We're going to be talking about the impressions of Paris and the Seine. We're going to be talking about a specific sailing that I'm actually hosting next year, going in April and May of 2026. This might not work within your schedule. I understand that. So we can really do any trip that you would like to do, and maybe you want to do France a little bit differently, or maybe you want to go for longer. We have some people who want to connect this and have two rivers. They want to do Normandy to Paris, and then they want to go down into the wine country and to the Bordeaux region. So all of that can happen. There's nothing that can't happen. But today we'll talk about the Seine River and then answer any questions. If you have any questions, there is a chat box. Please put your questions in there, and Lori, our AMA representative, or myself, Melinda, will be happy to answer those at the end. So just a little bit about Travel Central before we get started. Travel Central's been in business since 1988, over 36 years, serving people traveling across the world. Our specialty is Europe, though we do Europe. We also do obviously Alaska, Hawaii, South America, and the exotics like South America, Korea, and this year I'm actually going from Hong Kong to Singapore. So lots of options for travel. As we say here, the world is waiting, and we're here to help you explore it. Our main goal is from the moment you call us to plan your trip to the moment you return home that we're your advocates. We use our expertise and resources to find the best vacations for you. I think the best thing for travelers is that you actually have one advisor who is dedicated to you, who will answer questions and share advice for your vacation. And again, we're part of a large organization called Signature Travel Network, and their whole goal is to make sure that our travelers get special benefits and some enhancements to their vacations, whether it's an onboard credit, prepaid gratuities, breakfast at your hotel, all kinds of great things like that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Lori. Lori is our representative from AmaWaterways. We've been working together for many years and have done many groups on Ama and always very happy. Lori, let me just ask you one thing. On my screen, it says you're sharing to go to. If you could just click that button that says hide that, so it's not in the middle of the present. Yeah, that way it won't show up in the video. We are going to do the video with it for the first couple of things. So again, thank you. If you have questions, put it in the chat box. Hope you enjoy this afternoon and enjoy the presentation with Lori. I am recording the presentation and we'll share this with everyone via YouTube video tomorrow. Thank you. Go ahead, Lori.
Thank you, Melinda. Thank you for having me. Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. I just want to start by saying we're going to cover Impressions of the Seine and Paris, and this is a fantastic itinerary. It is one of my favorites. It's always the last cruise I've taken, but this one, it is truly a wonderful experience because not only will you see all the chateaus, you see beautiful Paris as well. And of course, St. Malo, if you do that extension. So we'll talk a little bit about the rivers of France. And I know that Melinda told you that we do a lot of especially France, you can do all three rivers. So you can do the Seine, you can do the Rhone and the Saône, and then Bordeaux. We do have an itinerary that combines all three. So, but we're going to focus on this Le Havre to Paris, and it's called Impressions of the Seine in Paris. But first, I'd like to take a moment to talk to you a little bit about AMA. I've been with the company almost 5 years now, and I've been on the rivers almost 11. So I absolutely love river cruising. But with AMA, we have the highest repeat guest ratio coming back to AMA. So I know we're doing something right. And this was new for us this year that it was actually measured, and it's well in the 80s. So we're very happy about that. We know once you get on board, you're coming back to us. So this is really a map of where the rivers flow. I know it's kind of small, but we're going to concentrate actually on this portion of France. So you can see this is where we travel to. This is the world that we give you with all of Ama products. But I'm going to go over just a couple minutes just to give you some ideas of what could be a next trip for you. Africa, maybe you didn't know, but we're on the Chobe River, center of the continent. 4-night river cruise, land 5 nights, and then we add different extensions. Egypt, I just got back from the Nile a week and a half ago. Absolutely amazing. So if this is has ever been on your list, now's the time to do it. Also, with Egypt, you're sailing with Egyptologists. Egyptologists. These are your guides. These are your local guides. Maybe the Mekong's on your list, Vietnam, Cambodia. Incredible adventure, only 124 passengers. It's truly an amazing adventure. And then new for us is the Magdalena River. And I have to say that we just started sailing this. We're in our 5th week of sailing. Yes, brand new destination for us, brand new product. I love this picture, and maybe you can see it, but this is the bridge. This is the vessel down here, and this is all of our passengers. I'm sorry, all of the villagers and along the bank here, waiting for this product to arrive. We're the first U.S. Passenger vessel in 52 years. So it's been an incredible on taking only 60 passengers at a time, but it's a brand new product. So I think Melinda will be able to uh, talk about that at the end of this presentation. But also a lot of our theme cruises. You know, we're very wine centric. So we have wine themed cruises. We have Christmas markets, certain times of the year. We have our Soulful and Latin Touch. We have our golf program on the Magna. We have our Smithsonian journeys. These are brand new for us, 33 dedicated departures, 2 Smithsonian guides on board. It could be anything, any destination or an excursion or an experience, just an enhancement to our already enhanced product. And then we have our celebration of beer and also our wellness host cruises. So these are all of the interest groups that we have. So maybe the beaches of Normandy has not been on your list, but maybe a wine cruise or maybe a beer cruise or a wellness cruise. Melinda and her staff can set up any of that. So a little bit about the vessels that we operate. You heard me talk about passenger count. It's very important that on some of our product, we have the same size vessels as our competitors. We just put less passengers on board. So it's a better experience for you. Anything from 140 square feet all the way to 710 square feet. So I know that we can have a stateroom that fits your needs. Cuisine, I can't talk about this enough because all of the wines that you have on board are regional wines. So in France, you're going to get those beautiful France wines, depending on what region you're in, right? All of our food is sourced local, so the experience on board is incredible. I have to say, all of our farm to table menus, we have the best food on the river. I truly believe that. Complimentary wine and beer are going to be included with your meal. And that is with lunch and dinner, a mimosa in the morning if that's something you want. We have our chef's table. Now, these are our alternative dining spots. They're all included. Everything I'm talking about today is included. So this is a 4 to 6 course pairing with wine, and it's a lovely experience, all included. Sip and sail cocktails on Ama right before dinner, every evening right before dinner. We have our cocktail reception, and that is cocktails of your choice. We do have some of the cocktails that are nightly, that are your themed cocktails, but if you don't want that, you can certainly have a glass of wine or a beer or another cocktail. So that's all complimentary, and it's on Ama. And then we bring on board entertainment. And this entertainment could be this beautiful dance troupe from Budapest, as you see. We could have a opera singer. We could have a lecture. We could have a cooking demonstration. Lots and lots of activities. We want you to continue that destination through the entertainment we have on board. And then our cruise managers. So if you choose to do a pre or post land extension, your cruise manager will be with you the entire journey. So no worries. From the time, all Melinda has to do is get you on board, and of course she's escorting this trip. You need to meet at the airport, I guess, and you fly together or separate. But once you get to the hotel, if you're doing a pre-land extension, our cruise manager is there to meet you. So I don't know when they sleep. They're incredible human beings. They go to bed when the last passenger goes to bed, and then they wake up. They are full of energy, but they really, really are truly there to make your trip a trip of a lifetime. And then, of course, you hear me talk about the cruise, but we also have land extensions. On this particular trip, we have a St. Malo land extension. I hope you take it. As you can see St. Malo there, I'm going to make a confession. I have been to Paris 5 times, well, 6 times actually. I've been trying to get to Mont Saint Michel and I just can't do it. So I may have to take the trip with y'all, but it's a lovely way to see Mont Saint Michel. So 2, 3, and 4 night land extensions. We'll talk a little bit about the land extension in just a bit, but those are some of your options. So we'll talk about the vessel. This is our French balcony vessels, 144 passengers, 140 square feet to 255 square feet, and 2 solo staterooms. So that is some solo pricing on those staterooms. Beautifully decorated. You know, there's only 4 um, uh, uh, layers, floors. So there's really not, it takes you 5 minutes. If you forget your key card, 5 minutes to get your cabin and back, really only 3 or 2, but very intimate vessels, right? This is the main lounge. This is where all the entertainment happens. If you want to dance till all hours of the morning, you can certainly do it there. And of course, the bar area. But this is where we have all of our entertainment happening in the lounge. Our main dining restaurant. This is where you probably will dine with all of your meals, and then our little chef's table. It's a little bit different than the European rivers. It accommodates 22 passengers. Melinda will have an opportunity to pick a night that all of you get to dine together. So it's a nice experience with all of you on board. Spacious staterooms. We have our 2 solo staterooms, anything from 140 square feet all the way to our suites, 255 square feet. So let's jump into the itinerary because it's a lovely itinerary. So basically, you're going northbound, we call it. I'm sorry, southbound, we call it, from Le Havre all the way out to here you have Le Havre. This is the English Channel. And then you can see the English Channel from here, and then to Paris, and all of the stops in between. So if you're going to do the extension, that's the Saint Malo extension. Highly recommend. It's 1 night in Paris and 3 nights in Saint Malo. So that is before you even start the trip. It is really incredible. This is going to be your 3 night stay. And of course, Mont Saint Michel is high on the list. So with this itinerary, you're going to see some beautiful chateaus that date back to the 12th century. Lots and lots of history, but beautifully appointed with all that French furniture. I collect antiques, and this is really one of my most favorite itineraries because it's a lot of history with the beaches of Normandy, food culture and fabulous wine. So it's a good mix of everything. We get to Saint Malo, and basically we will have a day for the beaches of Normandy. Now, the Saint Malo extension is going to be From Paris, we're going to have that. It's a 7 hour bus ride, but no worries because we do 3 stops on that 7 hour bus ride. We're going to go to the Chartres Cathedral, and the diocese, it's actually the Roman Catholic Church, and that serves as the seat for the Diocese of Chartres. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's considered a masterpiece, and it's the high point of the French Gothic art. So beautiful, beautiful scenery that you see. This is day 3. We go to the castle and its towers, and Saint Malo is a walled city. So within that walled city, you have beach on one side. So you have these turquoise waters that are just incredible. Also, you have the famed military architect Vauban, and the Cathedral of Saint Vincent. So a lot of cathedrals, but on this day, Dinard. And also Dinan. It's one of Brittany's most beautiful and best preserved towns. It's known for its galleries and crafts. The whole wall of Saint Malo, the walled city, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And then, of course, the Mont Saint Michel. That is a day that you will see that's a working monastery, but it's really it's designed after the Fécamp Abbey in Normandy, and it's really a fairy tale castle, but it's a working monastery, and it's a city. It's basically has its own zip code, so that's going to be really, really interesting to see. Then we move on to Honfleur. Now, from Honfleur, we're going to see the beaches of Normandy. And I should have put that slide before. This was a highlight for me. Now, all 5 beaches, we can't see all 5 beaches, but we do see 2 of the 5 beaches. Here you have some of the artifacts of the bridges that still remain. What I thought most interesting was, how did we win this war? I saw some of the sniper bunks that some of the snipers used just to pick the soldiers off, as they made a landfall. When we get to the American cemetery, it's incredible because on the walls you're going to see these fabulous maps of the invasions, of what time and what countries were involved. So it's a very peaceful place. We play, taps at the tomb of the unknown soldier, and a wreath is placed. But it's just pristine. The crosses for miles and miles that you see at in the cemetery. It's really, really a very somber day, but it's a piece of history, right? And the cemetery really, really was incredible, incredible. And then from Honfleur, we are going to get to Bayeux. Bayeux. So you have the Battle of Hastings that happened. This is a partial walled city, and here you have the canals, but beautiful flowers, old historic buildings, and of course, you get to view the Bayeux Tapestry. It's Battle of Hastings, and that took place like truly, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site as well. Um, but that took place in 1066. So as you can see, some of the buildings, of course, are not all original, but you'll see some of the buildings with the stones that are original. But it's a beautiful, beautiful little city. It's as well UNESCO World Heritage Site. I think there are 6 regions that are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So you will see these sites and all of its glory. Then further down the river, we're going to go to Rouen. And Rouen was an incredible city. The cathedral, you see the cathedral there. There's always work on the cathedrals in Europe because the coal that they still burn today puts black soot on the limestone. So they're always cleaning it. And unfortunately, once they make their way around the cathedral, it's time to start again. But it's an incredible, beautiful, beautiful cathedral. At night, it's lit up. In the square, the little city, you see the astrological clock there. In the city, it's really a wonder. There's a lot of little alleyways. The buildings are very tall. They're all different colors, all different. It looks like a building was stacked on each, and that was because taxes. You were taxed on the width, not the height of the building. So they may have a complete home on each story, because they were taxed not on the height, they were taxed on the width. So that was an interesting artifact. And of course, you go into the square and you will see the square that Joan of Arc was burned at the stake. A lot of history surrounding that, a lot of cultural insights into that, which is very, very, very interesting. And then one of my favorites, I happen to bike. We carry bicycles on board. So you could bike along this city if you wanted to. We do have a bike tour in each of these cities if you want to stay a little bit more active. If you want to take it easy, you can say, nope, I'm doing a gentle walkers and I'm going to enjoy it that way. So you can do it both ways. But Givony, Monet's garden, and that's from Vernon. Vernon is, of course, the home that Monet painted. That's the famous bridge. You can actually take pictures along, but the gardens are absolutely incredible. It's amazing that he only had, when he started painting, he only had two workers with him in these massive gardens. He was actually able to get the river authorities to deviate a little bit of the Seine and to water his gardens. So you can see some of the tributaries, light tributaries, will water his gardens. So there's a little lock system within his compound, and it's not a very large home, but the gardens are just really incredible. And you get to take your picture right here. That's the famous painting right there of the bridge. And then once we get back, Mont Joly, which you saw in the first slide, that is going to be Chateau d'Ernet. And also, this was Notre Dame de Mantes. This would be about the fifth or sixth chateau that you'll be able to look at. And then, of course, if you would like to do a post extension, you could do a post extension land in Paris. And of course, there's going to be the Notre Dame Cathedral. I was there in Paris 2 weeks before the cathedral burned, and it was just such a sad moment. However, I can't wait to get back and see it rebuilt. So you're going to have a lot of the old and the new alone, but it's definitely a must see. And of course, the Eiffel Tower. So anything, if you've not been to Paris, I would highly recommend doing the post extension, because you get those extra nights in Paris to dine, to enjoy some of the sights in Paris, and of course, all the museums, the Louvre, Musée des Arts, the Eiffel Tower, and of course, everything else about France that we think of in Paris, right? That we think of in Paris. So that is your 7 night with 3 nights pre and 2 nights post extension on the river. So, Melinda, do we have any questions? I know that's a lot to take in. Lots of excursions. So in each port, you'll have anything from 3 to 5 excursions to choose from, and all of those are included. I just covered a little bit of what you're going to see.
I'm not sure. Marianne had said the slides were not changing. They were changing on my end, so I'm not sure if anyone else was having that problem. And I apologize if that is you are having the problem. But let me first. I would like to also share when I'm traveling. Did you have that on the slides,
Yes.
Lori? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay.
No, no, I do not. I do not.
Okay. Okay. So hold on one moment. Let me give you the information. So I am actually going on this river cruise, doing the 3-night pre, and going to Mount Saint Michel. Like Lori, I've been to Paris multiple times, but have never been to Mount Saint Michel. So that was a big draw to me. I have been both to Paris and Normandy, but I really want to go back, and I think to go and explore the history of Normandy a second time is just such a really exciting thing for me. But I am traveling on April 28th. I'll be returning on May 9th. And then we are doing the pre-trip. The cruise right now, we have a $250 discount off of any of the rates that you'll see anywhere online because we have exclusive group rates with AmaWaterways. So it's starting at about $4,549. I think the pre is an incredible deal, which is starting only at $1,980 per person. And I'll make sure to include all this in the email that I send about with the recording on that. And Lori is correct. I am going to Colombia in October of 2026 on the Magdala River. And so we'll have another presentation on that probably in the fall that I hope you can join and learn more about that. Like she said, it's a brand new sailing, new to everyone. So it should be very exciting.
Yes.
With that, I don't see any more questions. Let's go ahead and finish, Lori.
Well, we are. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
So bottom line, as I said at the beginning, Travel Central is your resource. Our goal is to make sure we have all the good things that you need to go on vacation. We thank you for joining us today. And finally, if you're interested in joining us, you go. Here is our phone number. We are your experts by land and sea. We're located here in New Orleans or in Metairie, Louisiana, and you can be reached either by email, text, or phone, and we'll be happy to help you. But as I said, we will be emailing this out to everyone. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Have a great afternoon, and hopefully I'll see you in France next year.
Thank you.